And
They
that's
need
why I also
someone
kind
to
of
play
think
early.
maybe Tiny is put to the mid lane after all to get the puck Tiny matchup, and Shaker could go for another duo in his lane.
Yeah. I think maybe even Shaker offlane is not so bad to consider now.
Not a bad idea, for sure. Outside of the draft, because we were very curious about that sniper in the last game, and probably a lot of you viewers out there as well. I just wanna bring out something. So we did get a response from our loyal stats man. Shout out to Knoxville. So that sniper was the first ever sniper over 1k GPM. It was the highest ever XPM on a non-Meepo hero with 1,192 per minute. It was the highest KDA on a zero death sniper with 45, and the fourth most kills ever on sniper with 28. So
10 seconds to pick.
Yeah. He broke the records. He really
broke
did.
the records, yeah.
Hurry, hurry.
And they stack up the Dawnbreaker. It's a pretty nice response. It's a hero that can respond globally to, all the pressure that's going to be applied from Execration.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like it. The thing I'm still like interested in is who's core and who's support in this team.
Yeah.
Because it's really not that obvious. It can be anyone.
A lot of flexing, That is something that it is a good trick to hold in your hands when it comes to drafting. Like, where are you actually going to put these heroes? What are the best laning matchups you can look for? And how flexible is the team? Mavis has been playing Dawn 4.
5 seconds remain.
The Shaker is played by Carlo. So I wonder if... actually, sorry, Mavis usually does like to play the 5 instead of Carlo. Usually his hero pool is more oriented for these hoodwinks, etc. So 4 Shaker, 5 Dawnbreaker by the looks of it. DP, they've not picked DP before, so I think that's the wild card. Does Bok play DP as Chris takes Tiny in mid and they're looking for a carry? So we'll see what they want to do.
5 seconds. Hurry.
And so far it looks like Execration think they need a mid. They banned up both Lina and SF. SF is kind of a double pick, but the Lina specifically would synergize with this team. You would have just some semi carry on position 1, quote unquote position 1. But
something that benefits from, like, if this Dawnbreaker ends up being a support, like, who needs a bit of extra healing and opening up that Aghanims later on for the Dawnbreaker, maybe against the physical damage output. Not sure if it's the best game for it, though, until we see Execration's final pick come in.
Yeah, and Execration needs someone to go in to start the fight. Preferably some melee strength offlaner. Interested to see what they'll go with. Not that many options are still here, but the one that stands out to me is like the Mars still in the pool. We could be looking at a weird pick like the Doom as well. It's a slower hero, but it's kind of an anti-carry, which is good to have on 23 pick. Because no matter what curveball TNC throw, there is always a win condition or fight condition, if you will, for Execration. And I think they could get a little bit greedy with this pick, or like give it a lot more space. Just because they have a Nature's Prophet carry, very flexible in what he does.
5 seconds remain.
Palos' Furion played in one game. That was a loss against Lilgun. That was a bit of an upsetting loss for Execration, considering the teams that they have beat. They beat Hokori, for example, 2-0, who we just saw absolutely demolish SMG. So they would like to utilize this this Furion a lot more. At least it helps with ganks with Bob. So the next assassin is now going to lock in Execration with the +1 Prophet and the offlane Marcy.
Yep. Unless they really switch it up and put an Enchantress position 3. I have seen this somewhat be prevalent with the Marcy.
Marcy carry.
10 seconds.
Marcy carry NP offlane. Still a little bit flexible. It's not that obvious yet.
I mean, if Ana plays it, does that make it an SEA thing?
Unclear.
Yeah.
Ana plays offlane Mirana, you never know.
But yeah, Furion is pretty tough to beat in the lane already, so they don't have that great illusion clear, at least to start things off with. Palos Marcy carry Tino for the offlane Furion. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So they're gonna answer this with Yahweh going on the Tiny and Krish taking the mid Naga. But do they swap out the lanes, or do they decide to play the Naga mid? We're gonna find that out in a little bit. What about the laning matchup though? Is Tiny good against the Furion, or would you rather have the Naga versus the Furion?
I'm sure you would rather have the Naga. It's a very, very, very good lane for the Naga. And also, there's not really much, even if Ench or Nyx go to that lane, there's just not much illusion clear. So the illusions will stay alive and just pressure. I think ideally, you probably just want this Naga on the side lane, because either side lane it goes to, it's a free lane. So it's a lot of flexibility you can choose. I think probably the better question is, where do you want to put this DP Shaker Dawnbreaker? Like, do you even want them to tri-lane together, perhaps, and just let the Naga solo lane? Perhaps, like, challenge this Palos Marcy on the top lane.
Yeah. Palos Marcy.
Will he go for Battle Fury? That's the real question.
I somehow feel like this is the same build that you go for the 3 Marcy, BKB into Basher. Like, Face Boots BKB Basher builds, like, very standard for the damage output. I mean, your Unleash is already doing a lot of damage, but Battle Fury might indeed be an option because of the Naga. So they gotta find an answer to it, either through Maelstroms and Mjolnirs and Gleipnirs, or a Battle Fury for the Marcy. So let's see how these item builds are gonna be rolling out on the side of Execration. But Chris should have a pretty alright time with this Naga.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic Naga game, so I definitely would like to see him pop off with some... He could do a lot of builds. He could definitely do like some Orchid-type build-up and just hunt on side lanes. Seen a lot of these Nagas even go for something like early Shadow Blades with Orchid, and just being everywhere. And when you have split pushers like Nature's Prophet and Puck, you're bound to find a kill here or there. So I'm very interested to see what this Naga builds. There is a lot of different things you could go for, and honestly, we'll just have to see.
Well, let's get this game 1 underway. The final series of the day versus Execration and TNC for important points up for grabs. TNC with a victory would keep in the upper bracket top 4. Execration with some more points would claw themselves closer to the breaking point line. So we'll see what the impact of this specific series is going to be in the end. Does it play a big role towards the final standings, or is it just a game in the midst of others? The teams definitely don't think about that. You play one game of Dota at a time. Smash your opponents with every opportunity that you get. Roll out from there. Bok is going to walk into Palos and Abeng. Palos has already kicked off with the Dispose. Bok with the Celestial Hammer gets a bit of a distance. Enchant is there. It only lasts for a couple seconds. And the Fissure block in between will help him out not to take too much damage. But this Dawnbreaker gonna go all the way back home. Has the time to regenerate quickly until returning to the lane. Execration want to play aggressive now that they know that Dawn is out. They can secure themselves at least 3. Can they secure 4? Shanks is on top of the rune. That's 4 for Execration. They will get the last one from the river.
Yep, 4 runes going their way.
Keep doing that over
That's a
and
good
over
payday.
and over until the match is finished.
A little bit of advantage that they can get, they will take. We'll be watching Yahweh and Bob kick off this mid lane. Bob, who has been exceptionally good in the last few days. And, like, I'm going to repeat myself like a broken record. I would like to see him keep up that hot streak that is going on for him right now. See what this Puck can do while he's exiting the laning stage. He's been very good with these 1v1 brawls and playing a Grandmaster Puck on his most likely most comfortable hero that he's been playing the last few weeks in competitive games. Can turn the tide of many situations. And then we have the Palos Marcy. Lane should be somewhat alright for the Marcy here against the Dawnbreaker. If either team extends, like, they both have these escape tools that would enable them to either trade or escape.
Yeah, interested to see what they do on level 2 actually. With the Marcy, if he goes sidekick and they just pressure this Bach Dawnbreaker really hard. He has gone for dispose already on level 1, with quite unconventional.
Yeah. That was probably because of the first blood attempt that they had on the Dawnbreaker there with the pre-minute bounties.
Yeah.
But he will most likely just max out sidekick for the farm. Maybe 1 point in his second spell. There we go, the dispose again onto Carlo. Carlo, who doesn't really have a lot of armor, and we see Abeng also with the Blightstone. I really like this Blightstone pickup for him.
Gonna help them pressure for sure, and yeah, there it is. There is the sidekick. They're just flicking him. Oh, he lost vision for the dispose on Palos.
So in the top lane, Chris facing off against the physical damage from the Furion. He's got 8 armor to kick things off. 33% physical damage reduction. Furion hits him for about 40 damage. 30 to 40 damage rolls. Doesn't really hurt the Naga too much.
Yeah, for sure. Last hits wise, it's also pretty even on every single lane.
I guess that's kind of expected as well.
Yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing is what happens with levels on this bottom lane. I feel like this bottom lane can turn into a big brawl. As soon as perhaps the Inch reaches level 3 and she can get the big creep, or maybe Marcy level 4 so he has the rebound point.
Could be, maybe the rebound could be the tool that they need. Bach is also putting points in Celestial Hammer for good reason. Great for last hitting, great for moving around in the lane. Meanwhile, top lane, this lane is pushing very hard under the tower of Execration. So Tino is going to have a double wave for him to farm. Chris already at 20 last hits. So a very healthy start. And now Bach is getting slowed up. Palos ready with the sidekick, already dealt the early damage. And there we go, the cancel onto the Starbreaker. Bach is in big trouble. Abeng's going to have to finish him off by himself. And will maybe get the damage. The Impetus Spear. Kind of surprising there as well, because Abeng's just been right-clicking casually, so he's not even using the spear there.
He held the skill point for so long until the very end of that kill.
Turns out to be worth. That is first blood for Execration.
Oh, look at the water rune situation though. Oh, there's a Fisher from Carlo coming though.
And there's a toss avalanche combo with the Fisher. Nice dodge from Bob. Sees him coming in the river, and that bottle will allow him to regenerate. And there's the trade off. The tree is ready to be thrown in. Bob gets the chance to run away. He's also got the raindrops just picked off on the courier. And there's more raindrops on the Tiny as well, so mitigating each other's. Meanwhile, bottom Bach under the tower. Palos and Abeng were trying to look for an opening. With the missing Tiny. Sorry, not the missing Tiny, the missing Shaker. Nothing outside of the ordinary happening, though. This is a very calm start. Bit of poking. No real kill potential here, neither for Execration, either on the top lane, trying to get the DP. But Nyx Assassin is going to get blocked a little bit. There's the Treants fighting illusions. Now Perez is going to be walking through, but that Riptide, very handy. They're having some trouble dealing with these illusions. Now Carlo coming into mid. There's the Fisher stun on Bob. The toss avalanche combo. Yahweh's tree runs out, and Bob might just kill him here. But the raindrops is going to be there. Bob on the high ground dodges a right click. Waning Rift is available. He goes to the low ground, misses on the high ground. Abeng's going to be here, and there's the tip coming in. Still not dying. And now Abeng with the right click from the low ground finishes him off. Very close quarters battling. Mavis goes for the suck onto Bob. He's got 6 stick charges though, so he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, both these mid laners, they're just playing on the edge every single time. They're both either 100 HP or dead.
Yeah.
No, it feels like there's no in between. They're just brawling it out. But surprisingly, the puck is coming out on top. As I say that, Abeng might just fall.
Mavis also just got a haste rune, so he could follow the Sench all the way to his death. Abeng should fall. Mavis to clear it out. Chris will go for the web as well onto the Fury, and Tino gonna start taking a nasty amount of damage, and Palos finishes Bok in a 1v1. They've been trading for quite some time with Palos getting the upper hand against this Dawnbreaker, and now finally finishes it off too.
Yeah, it's just not fair. One hero has sidekick, the other hero has to just take it, you know. But I think now the problem for Bok is he can't really come back to this lane. Because if he does, then Marcy is level 6. He will just press ulti in his third spell. And it feels really challenging for Bok to play. He's probably going to need to play under tower. Yeah, he's trying to get a pull right now. But this skill is pretty significant. Because if Bok was level 6 right now, they could even look at perhaps abusing the Fury on the top lane with some ensnare into Dawnbreaker ulti combos. But right now, he's just a sad little Dawnbreaker on level 5.
Not very happy with the way that this game has started. Marcy face boots into BKB. That's going to be the first item choice for Palos. Standard build. Looking at some of the other items that are being lined up next for the Blink. Puck for the Witchblade. Nothing special happening here. Bobbing wanting to go for a chainmail. There is a decent amount of physical damage to fight against, so it might just be the right call for it. But does that mean we're going to see face boots Enchantress?
Medallion.
Or just Medallion, yeah.
Yes, Blight and Sage Mask, yeah. That's the build-up.
True, yeah. I was getting curious about the face boots for a second, but yeah, the Medallion makes total sense. Good tool. Both defensively and offensively. On the other side, tiny finishing power treads. Naga is lining up. There's at least the Manta. What is he building at?
Mid lane?
Is he going for Orchids? Well, they're fighting against Yahweh under the tower. Palos making a rotation with the Furion, so important kill going their way. Bobbing finds Bok. Bok's gonna chase the Enchantress, and this Enchantress should fall. The heal ain't necessarily gonna be enough, but the distance from the enchant is gonna be more than enough for him to just run away.
Yeah, and that was Bok's first Solar Guardian, and he just gets cancelled by the Nyx Carapace. It does not feel good at all.
Mavis gets stunned up by Shanks. Bob's coming in, waiting Rift there for the silence, and the orb is ready for the last hit. Yahweh gets the toss on the Furion. Furion does have a Javelin ready. So he's not going to extend as his spells are on cooldown. They want to deny this tower though, and Bob is looking for it too. Carlo squeezes in between for the deny, but that's a mid tower down under 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's good from Execration. They're putting on the pressure on TNC right now. They don't want to let this Naga just have free space to farm. And look now, even the Naga is just getting contested in the jungle.
Hunt, yeah. Bob has a coil in 2 seconds. Chris is very dead by the looks of it. He has nowhere to go. Coil's going to be there. He can't even pop it to break it, so the coil with the orb is going to be killing him. The Shaker standing on the edge. And on the other side, there's Mavis for the silence as they finish off one. Bob still pretty healthy looking right now. Orb to the other direction, and he's out. So they just got themselves 2 kills for Execration, making it 7-1 and a 4K net worth lead. This money is ramping up very, very fast for Execration.
Yeah, the brawl of the mid laners, it's really showing now how much it's favoring the puck.
Yeah.
The puck who has a Nature's Prophet to play with, and both supports. They're utilizing the map well, and all of this is basically possible because Palos can just stand here in a 1v1 and there is nothing Bok can do about it.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about their carry at all.
Yeah, they're really using this Marcy well, and look, top lane, Palos TP's in, but it does get scouted on a ward.
Palos is here though. Unleash is popped. But do you have the movement speed to catch Chris? Yes, he does. Face Boots is too strong right now. Solar Guardian is going to be coming in as well. Fighting against Palos is 3 of TNC. And Palos may have gone a bit too far. Tino looking for the teleport away. Does get silenced by Mavis. And he will stay a little bit longer. But here is Bob. He's just playing absolutely out of his mind once again with the quick rotation on the haste rune to find the DP. Tino is trying to kite him away. Shanks is there as well. Bob for the kill. He sees Bok, but can he go for the coil? He does come out of the tree line from the orb. Now Bok is a bit too far away for him to catch. I love how Bob is playing.
Yeah, he's everywhere, and he's playing so aggressively.
Yeah, that's what he does best.
Yeah, everywhere TNC shows, he's just there. And... Oh.
Carapace on the buck coil coming out. That's 1400 HP you need to burst through. So making some pretty slow work here right now. He's down a half HP. Another orb is available, and I believe it all pays off because the perseverance from Execration yet again leads into another kill. Bob is 304. Carlo looking for the stun. Dodges the fissure. At least the pump. Bob is going to get hit by the silence and the stun. And Yahweh coming in. The toss is there. And the waning rift to safety. The siphon. Tree dodge. Mavis with another and almost makes his way out. But Mavis gets this revenge kill. Now Crazen Bottom has to answer Tino's push with the Treants. And Abeng can't do much to help him out. TPs are coming in. The Dawnbreaker is showing him as well as Tino gets slapped to the ground with the hammer.
Finally something going TNC's way. They get both Tino and Bob on the puck, but Palos is not done yet. He's going in.
Not kidding at all. Cancels the Dawn Starbreaker, and Chris, no song. No song leveled up. He's maxed out everything. Shanks with Abeng finishes off the tower. They force Chris away. And now just 1200 gold short of the BKB for the Marcy. That's going to be a very fast timing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the pressure. Execration. They have the game plan figured out. It's all about pressure. They're just delaying everything. This Tiny's blink is getting mega delayed. Even the Dawnbreaker's first item, it's gonna come so late.
Mavis is hiding here. What are TNC up to? What are they thinking? Lining up a smoke and some dust on Carlo. Abeng is farming ancients. Just casually. Trying to make some work here. They've got the Marcy in the web, but Carlos ain't really bothered by Krish too much. He does drop the 1 armor once that Riptide does connect. That is -8 armor. Sorry, that is actually -1 for the Marcy. I'll correct myself in that. Shanks is hunting Bok. Won't probably kill him, but they have found themselves a puck. So that's a good catch here. Yahweh able to get the toss and the avalanche to follow up for a kill. Exorcism spent in TNC. Looks like they get to push for the first time this game.
Yeah, they'll look at the mid tower now.
Oh, the next assassin spotted as well. Make that another kill. Ain't that sweet. A difficult
Looks
job
like
to defend this.
Yeah, it looks like they won't really be able to push this tower, but they'll get solid damage in. Exorcism, of course, ending.
Yeah, with a Exo cooldown for another 2 minutes. They've done what they could. Meanwhile, Bob finding another power rune for himself, this time it being the Arcane. Perfect for the puck to have. Let's see what their game plan is. They want that Witchblade. He's still a couple hundred gold short, so maybe another creep wave to finish it. Both mid players blocking the creep wave. They're setting up here. They've got some backup. Carlos here. Mavis is here. Yahweh will just quickly clear out the wave and back away. Meanwhile, a bigger kill is actually happening. They've killed the Naga.
Dude, that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. It was the Vendetta Nyx that had a rebounding Marcy on the Naga. That's some horror movie stuff. You see that jumping on you, like what do you actually do?
Yeah, what can you do? But that's a big kill. That does slow down the Manta timing by just a bit on the Naga.
Yeah.
Always killing the enemy carry is a good thing. Dire Scan doesn't spot anything, but they have their sights on Tino. He's about to walk into a very unwarm welcome. Still getting to hold on to that lead, but win probability is exactly 50%. Both teams. Wonder when this Marcy starts to peak, because there's no Basher. He's going for Crystallis.
Interesting.
Yeah, he just wants the raw damage. As we say, that Abeng will get picked off with the toss back.
Yeah. I guess that's somewhat, I could say, a good death, because you're kind of dying when the lanes are pushing in.
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
I mean, will Yeah, what Palos is doing here is really good. Like, just forcing a rotation, but also he's just been farming the triangle, like, relentlessly from this Naga Siren.
Yeah.
And now they've just blocked it up, and they're reducing the amount of farm TNC can have for sure. And if you look at the Tiny, he's really not in the position you want him to be. And with Tiny, who's not snowballing, doesn't really scale that well into the game. So.
Yeah. And Palos will spot Yahweh in the lane. Can he do 2,000 damage? He's got a BKB for it. Considering his options, he wants to see more rotations on the map. They used the coil in mid even by Bob. Snipes Mavis' courier, and he actually finds Mavis himself. So yeah, this one he can definitely take down. 3 sets of Unleash bursts to kill the DP. But there's a big gank squad on its way, Chris. Bok, oh Palos, now you are playing outside of your comfort zone. BKB is up, gets the damage out on this first Unleash combo, teleporting away, but it's not gonna go through. Chris will take down Marcy. The Riptide too strong.
Yeah, got a bit overzealous there. But still, if you look at Execration's map, they're using it completely to play in the enemy's jungle. Every single camp is farmed. Finally, the Naga will have some space in the bottom lane, but
yeah,
still behind this Palos Marcy, who is not exactly the fastest farmer as well.
TP's into the top lane. They want to save Bok from trouble. He's already down a very low HP. Finally killed Carlo. There's the Yahweh coming in as well. Got the full combo. Out will take down Shanks, but he's out of mana. Bob also does not have the coil, so they will let this Tiny take control over this tier 2 tower. Trading 1 for 1. Dawn for the Nyx. I think the Dawn is a very good pick-off, at least for Execration, because again, Bok dead means no BKB for him.
Radiant's bottom tower is being attacked.
50 gold short for a blink on Bob. Has had full control over this river. With all this aggression that they've been doing, holding on the side of TNC, also means that every power rune is going to puck.
And Palos with the Crystal is finished. He also has picked himself up the Dagger of Ristal. So that's a lot of damage he's gaining right now. He's going to be like plus 300 damage total with the sidekick active. That can crit, by the way.
Yeah, that can crit as well, yeah. He's
So if he gets on top of anyone, they are just dead. Even if it's the Naga Siren, I think.
I at least did see him land a 420 crit
Radiant's bottom tower under fire.
when he was sidekicked. Shanks finds Chris. He's pinging. Wants some backup. They're TPing in with Tino. He has the Gleipnir. But it's going to be a Song teleport away. Puck is not close enough with the Illusory Orb, so a bit late for the party. But TNC, seeing these moves, might just jump in top. Looking for Abeng. Bok going to be charging down, and Palos gets caught inside as well. He basically just jumped into the Starbreaker and gets hammered.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Palos.
That's a really
Timing.
costly death.
That is a costly death, and the timing could not have been worse. A half a second before or a half a second later, maybe could have done something with the BKB. Instead, just gets hit by the stun. Sad to say, it's not even a skill shot because he put it on himself. 13-12, but still a bit of a net worth lead for Execration, but Naga is holding the top of the net worth, making good progress towards the Scotty. Oh man, the Scotty is the name of the game. Only they're going to be looking at something more. We got the Stormbreaker coming into the river to save Yahweh. Bob has his coil ready, and Dawnbreaker just gets stunned up by the carapace of Shanks. Switchblade is also on the Dawn, but Dawn is pretty durable lady. 9-second BKB also in the inventory. And they have started Roche. Abeng is soloing Roche right now. Alright, he's gonna get his buddies to back him up.
Map finally Palos comes, and there it goes.
Medallion with the Whitestone. Tino also there to back up. It's going to be right clicks. That means 21 minutes. The first Roche will fall. Execration, what can they do with this? TNC has also smoked up. What do you think they achieved to get with this smoke? Was it for the Roche shot? Because they did pop it before Roche died. And
I think they just need to pick up someone right now. They need to buy some more time because this Naga needs to finish at least 1 or 2 more items.
yeah, there's a full
before they
combo
can
coming
fight.
out onto Abang, and Palos actually jumps the other way, but he's going to give the movement speed for the Enchantress to run away. Did you see what Palos, did you see what Abang actually did with his enchanted unit? So when they were smoked here, they were literally on top of the bounty rune, and then this Satyr just smacks the bounty rune and denies it right in front of their faces.
Yeah. And the worst part is right now, if you were to look from Dire's perspective, there's just nowhere for Yahweh to farm. He just can't find a place to fight. He can't find a place to farm. It's really getting to a point where at some point this Tiny will just stop being a threat.
Yeah. Well, it is Abang to tank all of these ganks by the looks of it. And still living with 100 HP, but the next Crypt Swarm is going to be a bit too much, but the Siphon's already going to do the job.
Look in the triangle.
Shanks is on top of Chris, and here's Bob as well. And here comes the rest of the squad with Tino. Bok comes in with a stun. They've got the coil, still doesn't have to pop the song. The web's going to be there, and the Nature's Prophet down. Chris will get the live. They just needed Palos to be there, but he was a bit too far away. So Execration are going to miss out on this kill, and they have found Shanks. Did not teleport away right away, so he is going to fall to his death. Now Bob's going to be spotted. Yahweh, 2 seconds on the Blink Dagger. But Bob is just going to throw a baiting orb into the lane and stake inside the trees. But Marcy's almost got Basher, so I think that's the time to go for Execration.
Yeah, ideally what Execration want to do is split up TNC, because Execration is the team that can play more globally. With the Nature's Prophet, with the Nyx who already has a Blink, and he's primarily going to be looking for heroes. As I say that, Palos
will go for the fight against Chris and is actually beating this Naga Siren almost to death here. Because TNC, they finally get the stun out. The BKB iteration runs out from Palos. Yahweh coming in with the toss as well. They're going to be taking down Shanks. The Aegis is gone. Mavis is here. Bok going to go for the charge. Looking for the Nature's Prophet. Palos has respawned. Trying to look for the jump back in with the dispose. Tino going to get hit by the Starbreaker. And into the avalanche of Yahweh as well. This Tiny will finish off the Nature's Prophet as Abang and Palos are trying to give chase, but Yahweh also kills off Bob. Gets smacked down in the lane by the Tiny. They did kill the Naga, but that's a heavy price to pay. They lost the Aegis and 3 heroes on top of it. And Execration's net worth lead, it is diminishing every minute.
Yeah, and the Naga kill was very, very close. He actually died to a Nature's Prophet ulti, like last bounce. He got clipped just barely by the Nature's Prophet with 300 HP to spare, but yeah, I mean, this is the massive problem now, because suddenly this Tiny just picked up like around 7 kills in the last 3 to 4 minutes, and he's really rocking in Aghanims already.
Yep. They have been let into this game pretty well. If you look at all these, on the graph, if you look at all these green dots, this is basically most of them just, you know, wards or hero kills. There's a lot of green going on for the first 16 minutes. Now we're seeing a lot of red ramping up. That means TNC are been getting these kills going in their way. So it is a change of pace. Shanks spots Bok and spots Carlo. Bok will get to the Marcy. Palos again just gonna challenge the Dawnbreaker. You wanna fight me? I'll fight you back. Chasing him into the tree line. Dawnbreaker out of there with the Solar Guardian. And Carlo will fall. Shanks responded onto, and now they got the power of the Basher. Tino gets the last hit on Yahweh. Bob will get the coil to pop on Mavis with the Ghost Scepter. Bob getting soaked by this Death Prophet, but Palos again with the bash. Tino brings up the triple kill, and that's going to be a tower looking to fall. The creep wave is coming in as well as this cliff is about to run out. So a big success for Execration. After the past few 2, 3, maybe even 4 fights have not gone their way. A lot of pickoffs for TNC. And now Execration. Now this is the timing that they were looking for. Now that Carlos is getting a step closer towards Daedalus, this is going to be a very dangerous Marcy.
Yeah, I mean, even Tino on the Nature's Prophet, he's getting close to the AC Gleipnir. He could be the Naga solution later on.
Yeah,
honestly, with the itemization he's going for. But I like that Execration, they're not wavered, but I think TNC, they're getting close to being able to just straight up run over Execration. And I think this Aghanims on Naga Siren is the key. Just lock down this Marcy in his BKB and try and isolate him from the fight. I think that's probably the game plan that they're looking for right now.
So 26 minutes in with this Naga, getting closer towards that Aghanims. Will be helping out a lot. Upgraded Ensnare is super scary, and that will also hold the Marcy in place when she's in BKB. But this new Reelin ability, I've actually seen this in action before. So so there's some kind of 5-second channel up, which is pulling affected units to the Naga Ensnare. That's like a rooting black hole kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I haven't really seen much of its use, but the other component of the axe is mostly what I think the axe is purchased for anyway. I mean, it could be interesting against the Marcy, I suppose.
Smoking up to find a kill Execration. The smoke's gonna expire right under an ops board. But they still get the catch onto the Tiny. Yoey. He's gonna get killed here, but the fissure is there from Carlo. Tino scouts him out immediately, but the blink comes out from Carlo just in time. Able to get some distance for himself to get away, but they did kill off the mid Tiny. Bottom lane is pushing in. They are now focusing on getting Execration to run to the lanes where their creeps are already on their side of the map, like this tier 2 tower in mid already started to take a bit of damage from the creeps, but Execration doesn't worry about that. They worry about kills. They worry about it being the aggressors. And they will find another one with the Unleash, taking down Mavis. Shanks unable to cancel the TP of the Naga and doesn't see Bok TPing away. Now they found the Enchantress, so they're TPing away from a fight to find a kill on the other side of the map, which is always a good thing to do.
Have you learned your limits, or are you just warming up?
I like the TNC is still finding a lot of answers despite losing the last few minutes of control to Execration. Anything that's caught your eye in the last few minutes, Ekken? Are we still on call? I actually cannot hear you. I'm not sure if...
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah.
Not sure how long we've had you muted for. But,
not that long, not that long.
All right, good. So we've still got you here. Bok's about to jump in the mid lane, but Bob able to run out with the Illusory Orb. So,
yeah.
So what's on your mind?
I mean, I really want this Naga to utilize the Aghanims against the Marcy right now. I haven't seen them take a team fight or like a smoke to take a 5v5, but I think with the Shaker Blink shard, this is the time to go. You have Aghanims on Tiny also just recently finished. I think ideally for TNC, you need to make sure this Marcy just gets netted, focused by some illusions, and kill everybody else. You want to start with Nyx, you want to start with Puck. These are your key kills.
They certainly are. Hey, Stroon, you're going to go for the Tiny. And 3 seconds for Roche to spawn. Bok's halberd timing can be impeccable in terms of when does this Marcy have his BKB on and when not, to prevent those unleashes from flying out. And both teams are smoked up. Execration going on the other side. Tino's going to be spotted in the lane, trying to scout over the ulti. It might bounce back. He's going to connect onto the Tiny. 2-man stun. 3 Execration heroes surrounding the Tiny right away, but the Exy system's going to be there with the Solar Guardian from the Dawnbreaker. Not going to go through. Carlo also down, and they're going to catch Mavis as well. Make that the Naga maybe 2. Didn't even get to use that Reelin at all. Now they're chasing Chris into the tree line, and there we go with the stun from the next assassin. might be able to save the TP, but everything else goes in the way of Execration. And Roche is also up if they want to take it after that tier 2.
Dire's middle tower is
Yeah,
being attacked.
perfect fight for Execration. I mean, I wasn't sure of the jump by Yahweh there, because it feels like you want to take a fight that's very split away. You don't really want to initiate into like the center of the heroes. You want your Naga to poke here and there. I think the fight was very rushed, felt like to me. And that makes it really hard, because suddenly like the Shaker just feels like he needs to commit with the Fissure. He needs to show his positioning. Right, Dawnbreaker's obviously in the midst, but so is the DP, and they just all die to the Puck and the Marcy combined. It's way too much damage right now.
That Marcy AoE from the Unleash is also hurting Mavis a little bit there on the sides as they finish off the racks in mid. That was a very, very quick push from Execration, and the damage has been dealt. TNC on the chase, knowing that there's no BKBs, there's no Unleash. This could be a potential fight for them. Carlo looking for an angle. Oh, he could have actually just Blink Echo Slam right away, but he goes for the Fissure instead. They pull back Tino in the middle. Look at Tino's damage. He's still doing a crazy amount of hits. He's already got a double kill for himself, and Fox gonna have to run away. He does land the stun right on top of Tino, so he's not disengaging with the Solar Guardian. Now comes Bob. Round 2 engaged. Mavis coming in with the buyback as well. They're going to finish up the Dawnbreaker, and Naga once again surrounded by enemies. And Snare's also on cooldown, but Chris just doesn't have the time to get the reel in. Doesn't even get the chance to use it, really.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
This. Silence only onto Bob. Still running away. Shanks looking for the angle. He's got himself that vendetta. He goes for the blink stun. Catches the Naga Siren. Naga just getting popped here as Yoe does throw in some trees to help him out, but Chris is gonna die anyway, and Mavis, who just bought back on the DP, that's gonna be another casualty of war. On to the next lane of racks they go. Paolo's already starting his work on this tier 3 tower, and look at it fall.
Dire's top tower is
Oh,
destroyed.
Palos is just way too strong right now to fight at all. And we didn't even get to see Naga utilize the Aghanim's one time still.
Not a single time, yeah. It's just
like
the
just-
BKB piercing and snare, that's all.
Yeah, but not even that much. Like he BKB ensnared Marcy, but he was still able to right click him from the position of the net.
Yep, yep.
I think right now we're just lacking. We're not seeing TNC take the fight that they need to like execute, because it's not easy to execute the fight for them. But
No, not at all.
if they get it right, I think they still have it in them to win team fights.
Now, as they've already started, Roshan, TNC's not going to make it in time, and no way they can fight this. They're just going to have to go back and take the triangle under control for the time being, but that's going to be lost as soon as Execration wants to start taking the push. And Tino is the one to take the Aegis for himself. Shard, most likely was it for the Furion? Yeah, he's got the Curse of the Old Growths. That's a pretty handy spell. If you're keeping right next to enemies and they're instantly hiding somewhere, you can show their locations in fog. Can be a pretty handy spell. Bok is on the run. You know, clearing out the Naga illusions in the bottom lane. And this is a fully ready Execration. Everything is up.
Oh, and by the way, now the Marcy has Aghanim, so not only is his ulti only 40 seconds cooldown, but on top of that, he can actually dispel the net if he gets netted. So this one will be pretty rough now to deal with.
Does seem very difficult, especially with the Tiny. Even if he throws in all these trees, he just doesn't have anything to amplify them with. And Nature's Prophet is about to pop for the first time. Aegis is gonna go down. Palos will find the Tiny, and look at Tiny take a huge beating, getting tossed into the low ground. Bok flying into the air, tries to get a nimble move out, but it doesn't work out. Palos with his BKB will hammer the Dawnbreaker down to the ground, and the Tiny just bought back only to instantly die again. Execration cleaning house. Echo Slam to take down Tino. There's a song on the back line. They will keep them held in place for a little bit longer for the Naga to get away, but Palos continues to do work, and there's a 10-second cooldown left on Unleash, so Palos can just unleash hell once again. Bob on the back line with the coil onto the Naga Siren, manages to dodge the web, and they are on him right now, and another Unleash comes out from Palos. Chris is down. GG's called. Execration game number 1. It's in the bag.
Damn, what an explosive game from Execration. They just bought it on, honestly. Since minute like 5 in this game, they have just relentlessly been extremely aggressive, and I think TNC didn't quite get to connect their spells and their heroes to a good team fight, and Execration fully punished them for it.
Rightfully so as well. I mean, you played that laning stage that well from Execration with a huge net worth lead going in your way. Marcy getting the free time, and just the Dawnbreaker can't challenge the Marcy in no way. It was just every time Bok showed up in lane, they would just start hammering back hits, and Palos would even find a couple solo kills as well in this game. So unstoppable Marcy. But I think the big thing was Tino making a comeback into the game with these big, massive items, and you're like, okay, this Furion's about to one-shot everybody. What do we do with the Marcy and the Nature's Prophet at this stage of the game?
Yeah, it just got to the point where there's too many problems. I mean, even the Puck, he was off-screen for most of our fights, but he's just always there on the supports. I'm sure Carlo and Mavis, they know the pain of the Puck. He was just sitting on them as well relentlessly. Yeah. It just got a bit too much for TNC at the end there.
Very hectic. Yeah.
But I think very good execution, I'll say, from Execration. Their draft didn't convince me. I thought this Naga could pop off really hard, but they played really quick, and it was too much to deal with. So props to them.
It was a good Naga game. We both agreed. Like draft-wise, was a really good Naga game to play. Chris had a couple good moments to utilize this hero, but Execration just too many tools to work with. And that leads us from game 1 to the final game of the day. But before that, a quick commercial break, because you guys love commercials. We'll be back in a couple of minutes for the final game of the day.